August 4, 1892. In Fall River, Massachusetts, the Borden family started their morning like any other. But beneath the calm facade of the household, something dark lingered.
Andrew Borden sat at the dining table, meticulously counting his money, a daily routine that gave him comfort. Abby, his wife, moved through the house, adjusting chairs and straightening tablecloths. She muttered under her breath about the dust collecting too quickly in the old house. Lizzie sat by the window, watching the street with an unnerving stillness. Her hum was soft, almost eerie, as though her mind was far away. And Bridget, the maid, worked with mounting frustration, muttering, "I should have left this house ages ago." Each person in this house carried their own secrets, grievances, and frustrations. By the end of the day, they would all become suspects in a crime that would shock the world. Andrew Borden was known for his frugality, a man who counted every penny as though it might vanish. Some called him thrifty, others miserly. This obsession with wealth earned him both respect and resentment. Abby Borden, his second wife, was not beloved by Andrew's daughters. Lizzie and Emma saw her as an intruder, someone taking what was rightfully theirs. Abby, for her part, struggled to maintain peace in a household rife with tension. Lizzie's behavior often raised eyebrows. Her distant, cold demeanor hinted at an inner turmoil she rarely shared. She said to her friends, "I'll never let Abby take what belongs to us." And Bridget Sullivan, the maid, harbored her own resentment. Forced to endure the family's feuds and endless chores, she confided to neighbors, "I want to leave, but they won't let me go." Each member of the household had a motive, whether it was greed, anger, or simply frustration. When the murders were discovered, the question wasn't just who had the means, but who had the most to gain. The fragile peace of the household didn't last long. Emma, Lizzie's older sister, had reached her breaking point. She stood in her room, hastily packing her belongings. When Abby tried to intervene, Lizzie snapped, "Why are you defending her, Emma? She's trying to steal everything that belongs to us." Emma, tired of the endless arguments, replied, "You can't keep treating Abby like this. She's only trying to help." With a final shake of her head, Emma stormed out of the house. The sound of the door slamming echoed through the halls, leaving Lizzie standing alone, her fists clenched and her face cold. Emma's departure left only 4 people in the house, each with their own grievances. What no one knew was that the storm of emotions was about to turn deadly. Abby Borden went upstairs to tidy the guest room, her mind likely preoccupied with her daily tasks. She thought aloud about the linen she needed to replace, unaware that someone had followed her. Before she could turn around, the first strike landed. The blow was swift and deadly. Abby fell to the floor as 17 more strikes followed, each one delivered with calculated precision. The murder of Abby Borden wasn't just a crime, it was an act of rage. The question now was, whose rage had finally boiled over? Andrew Borden returned home from his errands, his steps heavy with exhaustion. Lizzie greeted him in the sitting room with a calmness that belied the events upstairs. When Andrew asked, "Where's Abby?" Lizzie replied, "She went to visit a sick friend." "You should rest, Father." Andrew nodded and settled onto the couch, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. Moments later, heavy footsteps approached. 11 brutal strikes with a hatchet ended his life, the final blow severing any chance of escape. As his lifeless body lay on the couch, the house fell eerily silent once again. The crime scene now bore the marks of not one but 2 brutal murders. With 2 bodies and no witnesses, the investigation quickly turned into a maze of suspicion. Lizzie's calm demeanor raised immediate questions. Investigators noted her odd behavior, including burning a dress just days after the murders. She claimed it was stained with paint, but the timing was impossible to ignore. Bridget, the maid, was another suspect. Her frustrations with the family were well known, and she had access to every part of the house.
Some wondered if years of pent-up anger had finally driven her to violence. And even Emma, who had left the house just before the murders, was not above suspicion. Could her departure have been a calculated move to avoid implication? Each person in the Borden household had a reason to resent Andrew and Abby. But without witnesses or clear evidence, the police faced an uphill battle to uncover the truth.
Subscribe to this channel for more.